Hi everyone, 270EH19 here, and today I want to talk about my Google Pixel 6 and accessories 1 year later. Now in this video, I'm not going to be talking about any nerd specs, just how it works. Now, when Google advertised this phone, they gave the customers a nice attractive price, while on the deep down low, they started cutting corners. And you're going to see that on the cons section of this video. Now, let's take a look at the phone and the accessories. The phone itself. I love the colors of this phone. On the Google store, they actually had 3 color options. This one, the sorta sea foam, is really nice. And as you can see, the back of this phone, the bottom is sage green. And then also the top over here, it's more of a yellowish color, divided by this RoboCop camera bar that you see right over here, which is really, really, really nice. I remember in May of 2021 when I saw this phone being advertised. It is such a really, really, really nice phone. And when I saw this for the first time, I was like, well, I gotta have this. And I did. And on the day that they actually announced the phone on October 19 of last year, I jumped on it and I got the phone. Now, looking at the phone itself, the Android 13 Material U, this is how it looks like. And let's see, let's lower the notification here real quick. Yeah. So let me just put this on the stand. Just makes it a whole lot better. You lower the notification area and you get these big buttons. Now, what I like about Samsung's UI is that you don't have to scroll in order to get these buttons. You just have a simple area that you can at least access at least 6 buttons. But wow, these are the most gigantic buttons you can actually get on an Android. But anyways, aside from that, the Android looks stock and there's no bloatware. Or like Samsung, when they offer you a phone, they have 2 different versions of things going on such a phone. For example, the Google Assistant and then Bixby. And there's more to that, but I'm not going to get into that. But anyways, this looks really nice. For stock Android, looks really, really, really nice. And looking around the phone itself, it's very pristine. Looks really nice. And as you can see, really nice. Glass in the front looks nice. And behind also looks nice as well too. And yes, of course, this is a fingerprint magnet no matter how you look at it. Can you imagine if they would have designed this to be like a matte sort of sea phone? That really would have been nice to have on the phone, where all this would be like all matte. So this way, no fingerprint gets on it, and it wouldn't attract fingerprints. But the way this phone is, yes, it's a fingerprint magnet, and you know there's not much that you can do with it. But the reason why I showed you around the phone, you'll see the reason when I talk about it when I get to the Spigen case that's on the right of it. All right. Google sweetened up the deal because when I purchased this phone, I purchased it for $699, and it was the 256 gigabyte model. And what Google did last year was these Pixel Buds A series earbuds. When you would buy them brand new, these would actually set you back $100. Now, if you would have purchased a Pixel 6 or Pixel 6 Pro on the very first few days when they announced the phone, they would actually put this in with the deal, which is really nice. Now, these earbuds are really nice. I love the quality. The only thing that I don't like about them is the battery life. Now, per charge, you can only talk for 2 hours per charge, which that kind of irks me, really does. But I guess, maybe because of the size of the earbuds, they're not that big, so I'm sure there are reasons as to why it's 2 hours per charge, no matter how you use them. But it's what it is. But anyways, because it was free, at least I'm not gonna complain about it too much. But they're there, and I do use them from time to time. And one thing I also wanted to add is that the Google Pixel 6, as well as my Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus phones, which you've seen on previous videos, as of this current time, they are my daily driver phones. And I use them both daily and on a daily basis, just doing different tasks on them. So the Google Pixel 6 for a phone, how it is, it is a pleasure to use, and I don't regret on buying it. Now, let's look at the Spigen Tough Armor Case right over here real quick. Let me just snap the kickstand here open. So as you can see, the kickstand, if you was to use this to watch any movies or any media or whatever, you can set this up on a table, and it's really nice. It's really nice for the way Spigen designed it. And after you're done using the kickstand, you could just shut it. And as you heard the snap there, that's really nice. And looking at the letters right over here, Tough Armor, and then the branding right over here, which is Spigen. But one thing I do want to show you is that when you lift up the kickstand, see how the branding Spigen looks right over here on the kickstand? And if you lift it up, just in case if you forget, well, there's also the branding under it as well too. So yeah, really nice. Now, the padding inside, the shock absorbent padding, is really, really, really nice. Really nice. And this is what kept this phone looking very pristine. Now, I had a little accident when I traveled to Emeryville, California this year. And as you can see, the case all around looks really, really, really nice. And the only thing that there is in this case, I don't know if the camera is going to be able to pick it up, but there is a tiny scuff right over here. And that's about it. Other than that, all the corners, they just look alike. They really do. And I don't see it as much, but I could feel it though. It just feels very subtle. Feels very subtle. Not as bad. Not as bad as it is. But hey, it protected this phone. Because had I not had a case, when I had that accident over in Emeryville, California, I probably would have had either a cracked glass or a cracked back. Or glass back as well too. So that would have sucked. Anyways, I do want to talk about some information here, and then we're going to get into the pros and cons. Well, there's three things I want to talk about. Well, number one, there is no headphone jack, so I'm not gonna get into detail with that. Number two, no expandable storage. The only thing I can say is that most phones don't have a headphone jack or expandable storage. Most of the flagship phones, that's what it is. That's what it's applicable to. Most of the low tier phones, like maybe some of the mid-range, and even the budget phones, they still have headphone jacks and expandable storage. However, my 2 cents on no expandable storage, the only thing I could say, in my opinion, is there was an experience that I had with my Samsung Galaxy S10e phone, where when I actually had the phone set to save the pictures onto my micro SD card, which was a 256 gigabyte that I had, a 128 gigabyte micro SD card that I had in there, saving the pictures. I don't know, for some weird reasons, like maybe 3 to 4 months later, the phone was corrupting the pictures. So yes, having no expandable storage and just doing everything with the storage that it comes, it's better off that way, instead of you having to try to get something out of your micro SD card, and that you would see that everything's all corrupted. And what I mean by the photos being corrupted, that phone would actually corrupt the pictures, and all you would see is just like a gray generic background there, which utterly sucks. It utterly sucks. So literally, If I shot certain pictures, I actually had to back them up somewhere immediately before it would start to corrupt them. So yes. So by not having any storage, and if you get yourself a Wi-Fi hard drive or anything to that similarity, you could just store it there if you don't want to have it on this phone. I have the 256 gigabyte phone model, as you see right over here, and at least I have enough storage until I reach an external drive, or I just plug it into the computer and just dump my storage in there. So that's how it is. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is the Google trading program. When you buy a new phone from Google, of course, they will mention the trading program in order to allow you to trade in your old phone to lower the cost of the new one, which is something that I did when I bought this Pixel 6 phone. I was going to trade in my Pixel 4, but however, they never sent to me any materials or any packaging that I can be able to put in the Google Pixel 4 in order to get some money in order to lower the cost of this one. Now, when I bought this phone, it was $699, and by the time it ended up being about, I'd say, close to $830, especially here from Massachusetts. That $179 would have been a nice value, but it didn't turn out to be that way, and I still have my Pixel 4, by the way. So I'm using that for other purposes, which I'll talk about in another video. All right, let's talk about some pros and cons. First off, battery life. Awesome on this phone. Second, stock Android with monthly updates. Yes, every first Monday of the month, Google will always put monthly updates onto their Pixel series phones, which I find that to be something really nice. However, there have been some times that Google actually lacked on it because they wanted to test the update before providing that to all of the owners of the Pixel 6 phones. And yes, this phone does offer 3 years of OS updates and 5 years of security updates. And what I can say is there were lots of videos on YouTube where owners of the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro, they were having a really frustrating time because this phone was plagued with bugs. And with the Tensor 2 chip that this was advertised with, on the very first few months, Google somehow didn't do a very good job where certain phones got plenty of bugs. I was very fortunate that, knock on wood, this phone worked really successful. In that department, it really did. All right, continuing on. Camera app, awesome. Speedy Google Play updates, awesome. Man, this thing, you would put this thing to update the apps on Google Play, and this thing is really fast. Okay. Free Google Photo uploads. If you own a Google Pixel phone, you can be able to put your photos onto Google Photos and upload them, and Google will not charge you anything for that. Where years ago, Google would do that with any phone that would have their Google accounts onto whatever phone would be. So anybody back in 2016, let's say, if they own a Samsung phone, then Google would allow this. But from last year moving forward to today, of course, they only allow this on Google Pixel phones. Hopefully, hoping that they don't change that. We'll see what happens in the foreseeable future. All right. Phone app features. Number 1, great spam detection. Love it. Number 2, call screening. Love it. And number 3, instant voicemail on the phone app. Love that too. Really, really, really nice. You don't have to call the voicemail number to get access to your voicemail. Okay. And then number 4, nice call quality sound. When you talk to any professional company out there and they put you on hold, in my situation, my experience, I've noticed that you can actually hear the bass coming out of the earpiece of the phone, which is really nice. Great. Now, I have 3 more cons I want to talk about. Loudspeakers. Love it. This phone, you can actually watch a YouTube video or listen to music or whatever. The speakers are really nice on here. And let's see. It offers you wireless charging and NFC. Yes, it does. Yes, only on words, and you can be able to use them. But there's also a little caveat when it comes to the wireless charging, which I'll talk about later in the cons. The last pro, generous battery saving options. Yes, there were times I had to use the battery saver extreme, maybe about 5 or 6 times, whenever I was not able to get access to a wall outlet or a power bank. So that feature is very handy right there. Usually I just keep the normal battery saver on most of the time, and just by keeping that on with the capacity of the battery, which I mentioned previously, the battery saver mode, I'm able to go up to like 2.5 days on a single charge with this phone, which is really nice. Really nice. All right, let's talk about the cons. And here are where you will hear some of the caveats that come out of here, which some of them can grind your gears. And if you own a Google Pixel 6, you'll know exactly what I mean. Number 1, no face unlock. Yeah, that's a bummer. Number 2, slow fingerprint reader at times. Oh yes, the fingerprint reader can be really slow. Now, on times like this, I could simply just pick up the phone and let's see. I just go like this, and it opens up really fine, which is not a bad thing. However, there are times that this phone, the fingerprint reader, sometimes will take up to 8 to 10 seconds in order for it to register the fingerprint in order to unlock the phone, which really sucks. Okay. Third, slow 21-watt wireless charger. Oh yes. If you put this on a wireless charger, you can expect to have the phone fully charged by 1 hour and 45 minutes. Well, that's what I see in my phone. That's my experience. Fifth, slow auto brightness. Oh my God. On a sunny day, this is where this phone grinds my gears. Someone could call me on this phone and I would just take the phone out of my bag or coat pockets. And once the phone gets exposed to the outside sunny day, does this thing really have to take about 9 to 10 seconds in order for the screen to fully brighten when it should brighten? My God. Yes, the auto brightness is really slow on this phone. 2 more cons I want to talk about, and then hopefully we'll finish the video. Slow Wi-Fi connection. My God. With my modem and having the passwords saved onto Wi-Fi, I could even go to my mom's house, and with her modem and the passwords saved onto the Wi-Fi, wow, there are certain times this thing could take about, I'd say maybe from 8 to about 12 seconds in order to fully connect. Yes, that's a gripe, a major gripe on this phone. But if you have patience, you can really survive it. Last con, which is large phone size. For 6.3 inches on the size of this Google Pixel 6, while the Google Pixel 3 XL was actually this size. And now we look at the Google Pixel 6. Okay, the screen size is nice. It's really, really, really nice. Now, what I can tell you, that with the screen size, you get some really good viewing pleasure out of this, which is really nice. Bezels, no accidental touches, which is nice, but the phone is not pocketable. When I had my Samsung Galaxy S10e and my Google Pixel 4, those were the last phones of the small form factor, like 5.5 or 5.7 inches, which makes the phone a lot more comfortable to hold single-handedly. Anyways, this is my 2 cents and my take on the Google Pixel 6 and accessories 1 year later. If you haven't yet, please do the YouTube procedures, such as ring that bell, like, and subscribe. Also, this is 270 EH19 simply saying thank you for watching.